Hi everyone, today we're talking about Nvidia, who have just reported earnings after the bell and has caused the stock to go up 7%, which is a nice little spike on the stock market chart for Nvidia. We're going to look into the numbers, we're going to see what was reported and kind of go through the stock, and I'm going to talk about if I think the stock is a buy. So, when we look into Nvidia's numbers after the bell, we had earnings that was 88 cents per share versus 81, so we had a 7 cents beat there. Revenue was 2.2 billion versus 2.20 billion, so we had a little bit of a beat there, but it was pretty close, but it was a nice little beat overall. Now, I think the main reason why the stock has spiked so much is because when we look into Nvidia, it was one of the most talked about stocks last year. It had a bit of a rough ride last year. Obviously, the stock was talked about going up to $300 a share. And then after it was talked about going up to $300 a share, it had a bit of a rough ride. And then eventually, with a lot of these stocks towards the end of the year, it ended up going down to about $130 range, which is where I thought I'd never seen Nvidia at them prices. And I'll be honest, myself, I made a little bit of a mistake. I didn't invest in Nvidia at that time when it was hitting them prices. And the reason why I believe I didn't invest in there is because there were just so many stocks on sale at that point that it was kind of a bit like, whoa, that's on sale, which one should I buy? And it was a bit like trying to look through all these stocks and then deciding which one to buy. And Nvidia was one that I did consider buying at the time when it was around the 130 price, but I kind of just was like looking at Visa and Microsoft and all these other stocks, and I was buying all these other stocks that I can just like cross Nvidia off my list, and I didn't end up investing in them, which was a bit of my fault, but he's had a nice little rally off them lows. This last week or the week before, he did have a little bit of a drop because of the China trade news coming out, and that deal was kind of priced into Nvidia stock. Obviously, Nvidia gets a little bit of revenue from China, and with the deal not being in place, everyone was kind of a bit worried and there was a little bit of a sell-off. But pretty much all of that loss that was done on Nvidia, which is one of the stocks that was hurt the most last week, has been recovered with these earnings report. Now, obviously, Nvidia was down massively because of the revenue and the earnings per share. Both of them were down year over year, which we knew about, and that's all being priced into the stock now. Obviously, the revenue was down 31% year to date. Obviously, the earnings per share is down quite a bit because of margins. Margins have been hit quite hard in Nvidia. Prices have been a little bit difficult for them recently on the items that they do sell. One of the biggest sectors that was hit hardest for Nvidia was the gaming revenue. The gaming revenue was down 39%. Now, obviously, that's due, I would say, but mostly to the end of the cycle. You know, a lot of the gaming stocks have been hit pretty hard. We look at Activision, Take-Two, EA, all of them have been hit really hard. That kind of gaming sector is kind of struggling right now. But we are getting towards the new gaming cycle where we'll see new consoles come out soon. So when new consoles come out, new games come out, and also Nvidia's in the PC market as well. So them sort of chips as well, they'll be on the upcycle as well. People needing to upcycle to be able to play the games, because you'll have to have higher requirements of your chips in your PC to play them, as well as with the new consoles and people upgrading them consoles. So the new gaming cycle isn't too far away. We're about a year off that new gaming cycle. So obviously that's a sector that's been hit quite hard for Nvidia at the moment. But going forward, with the new cycle, that'll help the revenues push up a little bit more. Overall, that led to 289 million drop and margins being hit, which we just talked about overall. One of the big thing about this revenue as well, we've got the data centers that have been hit a bit hard, but when we look at the cryptocurrency as well, obviously last year we had probably, I think it was about towards the start of 2018, we had a big crypto boom, and then eventually they all dropped off, and we saw a lot of stocks like Square, Nvidia, AMD, all of them that were associated with crypto, they got hit pretty hard, which is one reason why I was like never touching Square again, and that's the reason why I sold out on my position in Square, is because I didn't really trust the crypto stocks, or should I say currencies, and I was a little bit like, oh, if I'm investing in a company that's relying on that cryptocurrency, then I'll sell out of that. And probably one of the reasons why I didn't buy into Nvidia. Obviously, with the cryptos going down now, that's led to Nvidia's revenue end up dropping slightly. Now, what's quite interesting is when we look this week, quite a few of the news headlines that have been coming out is about Bitcoin starting to break through resistance levels and go up a little bit. So obviously that will come into Nvidia's Q2 report, when it comes out in a few months' time. So when we look a little bit ahead, we can say that if crypto is starting to come back, that'll be a big benefit for Nvidia in the coming quarter when they report earnings. So we need to consider that as well. Is in a few months' time, is Nvidia more than likely able to beat them numbers if they get revenue from that crypto that's done well this quarter? Potentially so. And when the Nvidia released guidance, the guidance wasn't too bad as well. They pretty much did it in line as well, which was pretty good. So when we're looking ahead, if you want to play a smart play, Nvidia crypto doing well, Q2 earnings might be a good time to invest into that stock right now with the news of that coming out. But when we look at the stock itself, it's still on a 45% discount from its high. But a little bit scary thing for me is that PE is still at 26. Obviously, I'd like that PE to be a little bit lower. For me, I'd like that PE to be in a little bit more towards the 20 range going forward. So, Nvidia, after these earnings, am I going to buy? Do I think it's time to buy that stock? It's a tough one, to be honest with you. This is one of the hardest stocks I've had to make a decision on, if I think it's a buy or if it's not a buy. If I was just to rate the stock itself, I would definitely recommend it as a buy, because when we look at the potential of Nvidia over the next 3 to 5 years, we know we've got the artificial intelligence coming out that is just developing so quickly. We've got the driverless cars, we've got the new console cycle. I think right now Nvidia will be one of the biggest growth stocks going forward. I think it's still I would have, if I was to get in Nvidia, I would have liked to get into the 130 range, to be honest with you. But it's still quite a bit of a discount right now. And with Q2 and crypto doing quite well, it might be a good entry point. Obviously, I won't buy on the 7% gain. It might be a chance that a few people will take profit the next day and then it'll pull back 1 or 2%, or some China trade news might come out and that might help pull the stock down a little bit. But overall, I really like Nvidia. Just in my opinion, if I was to get in the stock, I would have got in the 130 range. But if you're a long-term investor like me and you're looking for a stock to hold from a year to 5 years down the line, I believe the stock's going to go up in price for sure. So I would recommend it as a buy. Just in my opinion, I think there was a better entry point a few months ago. And with this recent spike, maybe wait if there's a little bit of a pullback. But if you don't mind, that couple of percent and waiting, you could invest right now. And I'm sure if you were to hold it, a year to 5 year down the line, you'll definitely be up on that position overall. So that's the video for today, guys. Talk about Nvidia earnings. I hope it helped you if you were looking to get into Nvidia stock. And thanks for watching, guys. We've just about got to 160 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you for all that support. I'll see you on the next video.